Ahoy, morning breathers. Welcome to Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
We're not your ordinary chips. Ahoy. How about that? We've got SPP in the house.
Ahoy, Skipper.
Ahoy to you, my lad. Did you have a good night? Get a good night's sleep?
I got a night's sleep.
That's better than no night's sleep. Mm-hmm. Good. Lots going on in the big city.
I guess so.
Okay. You want to go into it? You want to tell me about it?
No.
No. Okay. That's what I perfect. Now I know our boundaries a little bit. Good enough. We got Boss Man Matt with us.
Ahoy, Skipper.
Ahoy to you, Matt. And John the Voice.
2 days in a row. Yeah,
2
I know.
days in a row. Ahoy. John is a man of many talents.
He is.
I happened to be in Ottumwa last night at a meeting, and I knew Washington was down there, so I popped over to Evans Middle School in the heart of Ottumwa.
Which is weird because you'd think like the high school, but they don't play their games for the high school at the high school. They play at the middle school.
I don't know why that is. The high school gym must be...
In Centerville, they do that. They play at the elementary school because the elementary school was newer than the high school, and they built a new gym at the elementary school when they redid it. So they play at the elementary school.
I mean, it's a nice gym.
Yeah.
And I assume it's nicer and more up to date than the high school, because the high school is an old structure.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in high school.
I haven't either, but I know where it is. I could drive to that. Evans, I had to pull up on my phone.
Gotcha.
I didn't know where it was. So you were doing a little officiating last night.
Yeah, I seen you walk in all dressed all fancy. Fantastic.
Well, that's not today, but that's how I was yesterday.
Yesterday you walked in looking like the mayor of Forest.
So I walked in. There's a camera guy there. I think I told you. I told somebody this, and I was kind of walking by. There was a nice little break because I don't like walking through the gym when there's business going on, when the game's going on. Don't need to do that. And there's a guy there filming, and I stopped him and I said, doesn't anybody dress up anymore to go to the games? And he thought about it, and he looked at me, he was serious, and then he just stuck really hard laugh, and he goes, no, man, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
It was so funny. A lot of people, I was also standing in that corner, and there was one particular guy really complaining about the refereeing, but not you.
Yeah, I know.
Did you hear him?
You know, you hear things.
You hear things.
But I would be curious as to your take on that. That's what
Well, it was funny because it was who was
so there's two guys.
Yeah,
So
the older guy.
okay, yeah. So
I cannot remember his
I
name.
didn't know if we were calling names here on air, but
We don't have to.
Okay.
So it was the older guy.
yes.
And he was not really vocal. You had to really try and listen
Yeah.
to hear him, but he was really upset about all the calls that were going against Ottumwa. He says, that guy right there, he won't call a foul against the other team.
Yeah.
He must have a granddaughter playing. He just kept going, and I didn't say anything. But I think, like you and I did discuss, it all works out because eventually the calls went the other way. And I so much wanted to go down and say, I think the calls turned out pretty even.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure. I think we're getting some chatter here that says my mic isn't on, Peter. So I don't know what's going on there, but we're good now. Okay, all right, very good. So it's interesting because in the first quarter, that guy that I'm sure he wouldn't have been singing a different tune because in the first quarter it was 6-1 in favor of Ottumwa, as in there were 6 fouls called on. You know what I mean? It was
Washington,
it
one on
no. It
the
was
other way around.
it was the other way around. So it was 6-1, but in the fourth quarter it flipped, and so we called way more fouls on Washington than we did on Ottumwa. And so in the middle it was about split. And the thing is, you always have that, right? There's always somebody because it was a good time. But yes. The other gentleman that was driving with us last night, we were laughing about it during one of the timeouts. I said, "You are really popular tonight." I said, "They're letting you have it, man." I'm like, I said, it's nice to not be the one for a change, but no, it was a good game. I think Washington was up on them, and then they just. I think I don't know if it was legs, if it was a few different things. They just looked a little tired in different spots, and I think that's the programs continue to build and to try to get better in different things, and but when you predominantly have one player who's handling the ball or having to handle the ball and create not only for everyone else but for herself, that's a lot to ask of one player. You know what I mean? And it's hard. And so it's first couple quarters. Great, but then all of a sudden that third quarter comes, and then those legs start to get a little rubbery, and it can be tough.
They put a full court press on us.
Oh, yeah.
We struggled with.
Yeah, and they were kind of trying to press and trap back a little bit, a half court trap a little bit, and some other stuff. So, but no, it was great to have the Morning Breath crew there. I mean, Rachel was there.
A bunch of us there.
I thought about jumping in my car and coming down.
I mean, we were all there. I mean, you could have, yeah.
But speaking of tired legs, I mean, I never paid enough attention, I guess. But those kids play a lot of games, and if they get in stretches where they're playing every other day for 4 or 5 games, and it's a lot of games.
It's really true. I mean, you see that. I mean, we have
and the refs are right there working just as hard.
No, I mean we don't work as hard because because we could sprint down,
right?
But then you can kind of like walk around in the office and stuff, so they're running more. But if you factor in, it's math, right? If you factor in the age difference, it about evens out. Okay,
true.
I mean, like I'm out
a multiplier there. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out there 25 years older than most of those people on the floor, and it's just it is what it is. But tonight we got a big one though.
What's tonight?
Tonight we have 2 ranked girls teams that we're
you were talking about this, yeah.
Yeah, we're going up north. We got Williamsburg and Clear Creek Amana, and it will be a barn burner.
Yep.
It's going to be a real good game, so I'm excited. I'm always excited to ref every game, but there's certain games where you're just like, okay, this it feels like it'll feel like a playoff atmosphere tonight. For sure.
Matters, right?
Yeah, I mean they all matter, right? But but this one, it's like it is certainly something to where like it'll feel like postseason basketball in there tonight. I guarantee it.
Yeah, Greta and I missed out last night. Greta says, and we
did.
Yeah.
I don't know why you weren't in tune with us. I thought we had one heart.
Part of the ship,
we were in the text group. We were all connected through the text.
I was gonna say, shout out to Rachel for keeping us all connected.
She did.
She was. I can always count on hey, you know what? I need to lose weight after seeing pictures because I see those pictures from those games and I'm like, man, is that what I look like out there? I'm like, all right, and to the gym we go. All right, so.
Oh shoot! What do we got up there? You were laughing earlier.
Well, I can't remember even what I was laughing about. But anyway, Jeff's here. Boxcar Treasure's here. Denise, my mom says we can't talk about the Iowa basketball team because they choked another one, 18 points, lost to Ohio State. Cindy, Nikki G, and Greta are here this morning. I can't remember what I was laughing at. I was laughing at something though, but yeah. But we want to talk about more basketball, but so Iowa lost, but Iowa State, did you see the end of that game?
I did not. I did not get to see
Arizona was down by 3, had it underneath the opposite basket where they needed to go. Guy took a 55-foot, 3/4 court shot and made it to tie it.
Man.
Wow.
And then Arizona won in overtime.
You're kidding.
No. But it was, I saw one of the stories, 55. It was a 3/4 court shot to tie the game and send it to overtime.
Was it at State or Arizona?
It was at Arizona.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The house that Olsen built.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's too bad. I kind of wanted to see the season's not over. But
they could still be a 1 seed.
They're going to be a force.
Yeah.
For sure.
Arizona, though, Lute Olson ties to Iowa.
Yep.
I was talking with we were talking about coaches the other day somewhere, and how Steve Kerr has been a pretty good coach in the NBA. And you think about the coaches that guy played for. So he played for Lute Olson in college, right? He played for Phil Jackson in the pros. He played for Greg Popovich in the pros. I mean, he played for some all-time great coaches. Mm-hmm. And then he stepped into being a coach and was like, wow, he's this good coach. I'm like, boy, yeah. I'm like, if he had any inkling to be a coach at all, he sat at the feet of 3 of the best coaches in basketball history.
He was soaking
pretty crazy.
it up.
Yeah.
He was soaking it up. Well, ahoy to all that have checked in. Greta Lynn. The glorious Greta Lynn.
It was so funny. The other night I was on the way home from Clear Creek, Amana, and Grinnell. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and I get a phone call on my phone, and it's from Greta. But I picked up the phone, and my first thought was like, oh no, like what happened? Because I've never gotten a call from Greta at 9 o'clock at night. It was her daughter with her phone in her hand, and I hear this like on the other end of the phone, and then like click, gone. And I was like, all right, cool. So I saw Greta at work, and I was like, hey, so I got a call from your daughter. For those of you who don't know,
John the Voice.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, her daughter's like very, very little. So yeah, but anyway, so it was hilarious.
There's not much news going on today. There's just a lot of presidential part.
Yeah. So you guys were at the basketball game last night. So I watched. I watched a movie.
What's the regular people doing?
Yeah, I watched a movie.
What were the boring people doing?
Exactly. Well, it's called. Hey, I'll own it. I'll own it, man.
I'm kidding.
I'll own it.
I'm kidding.
So it was called Unstoppable. It's on Amazon Prime, and so if you want to watch it, don't listen because there's going to be spoilers here. But it is
That
also
is your warning.
That is your warning. But it is it's an inspiring movie for most people. They would really enjoy it, and it did nothing but make me mad because it was. And I'll tell you, and I'm going to get flack for this, but that's okay. It was about a young man who was born with only one leg, and he wanted to be an athlete.
Yeah.
And he did. He overcame all these obstacles, and he became a pretty elite college athlete. Inspiring story, right? Mm-hmm. Except for he was a wrestler.
I was just gonna say, why do I feel like you're about to rain on this parade right now?
It is a true story, kind of. The ending because it's a true story, but the middle parts of it pissed me off. Something terrible.
Did they take some creative liberties?
A ton. So he's a wrestler, Anthony Robles, and do you remember him? Mm-hmm. 2011, he was a national champion for Arizona State, and he's a good wrestler. But he wrestled Matt McDonough from Iowa in the finals and beat him. But they made Iowa look like the bad guy all the way through, and he wanted to be recruited by Iowa, and they had this Tom Brands and Mac McDonough characters in there that were they looked evil and they acted evil.
Nice.
And it was like Iowa is the bad guys that wouldn't let him come there, and anyway, nobody else recruited him either. But anyway, and he absolutely has disadvantages. He only has one leg, right? Yeah. So his balance, there's all kinds of things that are bad. But he's a 125 pounder, and I don't know how much a leg weighs, but 20 pounds, 40 pounds, how much does your leg weigh?
I don't know.
Mine's about 46.
So, but
I feel like Ray would know this.
Yeah, exactly. So you take that, and then he doesn't have that weight, so he's got it in his upper body. So he's a 125 pounder that benched 305 pounds. Mm-hmm. And he beat McDonough, and he beat him pretty handily. It was 7-1, and McDonough's only point was a stall warning against Robles. And again, inspiring story. He overcame a lot. He had more obstacles than he had advantages, no doubt about it.
I mean, less for the wrestler to grab onto. It seems like an advantage to me. I don't know.
After that movie was over, I went back and I found it on YouTube. I found the match and watched it again. And McDonough's reaching, and there's nothing to grab.
There. Yeah.
And this guy's upper body is tremendous.
Oh, sure.
And so he's on the ground. He gets down on the ground immediately, so that everything's low, and but then also he beat him. So it's Robles' senior year that he beat McDonough. McDonough was a sophomore. McDonough had won the national title the year before, but in the movie they had Robles making it to the national finals and getting pinned by McDonough. And so Robles' junior year, which never happened. Mm-hmm. Robles got 7th and didn't make it to the finals in his junior year, and so it just painted the whole picture, right? And anyway,
there was something about this, the way they had to start too, or something. I can't remember.
No, they started upright, but immediately he went down.
If he went down, his opponent had to go down too, or something.
Well, they did. I didn't see that.
There was some kind of rule like that.
I feel like you were sitting there watching that movies to borrow from Elf. You sit on a throne of lies.
Exactly. Well, it just wasn't true. The wrestling part of it, the rest of it, right. And again, incredible story. It really is. If you're not invested in the Iowa Hawkeye program, you'd probably love the movie. But
you have to really figure out how to wrestle a guy with.
You would. It would be. They talked about that. The announcers during the match, they were like, you have to change everything you do
completely.
Yeah, like you said, when you're reaching, there's nothing there.
The guy's upper body is tremendous. So you have to do different, and he's that guy's used to wrestling on the ground.
Yeah, and then the balance of his weight. I mean, it's got to be different too.
He's extremely his weight is very much forward.
I would like to point that out, that Ray has let us know a male weighing 125 pounds would have a leg around 20 to 30 pounds. So you were pretty darn close.
Yeah, well, I had no idea.
Did you also know that the muscles that operate a bird's wings make up 20% of its body weight?
I did not know that.
Can you imagine if we were like that? We'd look like orangutans walking around. I'm just telling you, like just.
So anyway, that's my gripe, and it's probably a really good movie if you weren't a wrestling fan.
You've seen it in your mind's eye, didn't you? You just imagined it.
Where
So,
in God's name did you come up with that one?
so I hope Josh is watching today. So when I was a kid, I used to fall asleep listening to like. It was like a Christian program, but it was like Uncle Bob's Nature Stories or whatever else. Anyway, my parents would put it on. Anyway, so it's like it was always like this character, Uncle Bob, and he would be like interviewing like an animal, and like learning all about the animals and like whatever else. And I was just like really little, and I have this thing, Tim, that just like when I hear something like I don't have like a photographic memory, I don't think, but it's pretty near close. Like if I hear something, it locks in. So whenever we get together with friends, especially from childhood or whatever else, they'll always be like, well, this thing happened. John, what happened? And they'll ask because it's like I lock it in, and it's a blessing and a curse. That's another story. But I remember that line from that tape, that cassette tape, where it was like, did you know that the muscles that operate a bird's wings make up 20% of its body weight? So we were on the way to basketball camp in high school years later. And I quoted that stat in the car. It was just random. It's like a 17-hour, car ride, where we were going to basketball camp. And, everyone's still, like, some of my close friends, they make fun of me to this day. Josh Schaefer being one
They
of them.
likely remembered it now as well.
They have, because it's
Yeah,
such an
exactly.
obscure fact. But all I could picture was, like, just someone walking around with 20% of their body weight. Like, just say if someone was, like, 250 pounds, like, what's 20% of that? And
picture your legs up there on your shoulders.
Just the muscles that operate your arms, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty wild. So...
And now
Fun
we know.
facts.
See, I could have saved that one for
Now
the
we
fun
know.
fact.
You could have done the
I could have
facts.
saved the random fact of the day.
Thank God. 7:32, Peter. We got to take a break.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you with the flexible financing you need to install that all-season room or remodel your kitchen with a home equity line of credit. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Ahoy, morning breathers. Welcome to Tuesdays. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah.
It is Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Whew. Thank God. Where did Monday go?
It went to yesterday.
That was yesterday then, wasn't it?
To heck,
Yeah,
Tim.
I'd like to say
Heck.
the heck.
The heck you
No,
say.
to heck. Hey, where did it go? To heck. That's
To
where I
heck.
went.
I'd like to say that the Southeast Iowa Video Network is sponsored by KCTC.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Casey.
Casey.
Thanks, Casey, and all the gang over at KCTC and the Morning Breath crew this morning. We are sponsored by Hy-Vee, as we are every morning. Hy-Vee and Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh.
Thank you, Willie.
Thanks, Billy.
And Willie, we really mean this. I know we all kind of chime in and it all sounds the same, but we say it with love.
We couldn't do it without the sponsors.
Can't do it
Nope.
without you.
So Greta says it's a good movie, and it is a good movie, and I'll get off this, but just know that some of the wrestling parts are not true.
And I was not rude.
Well, Depends on how you look at it.
Well, they're not that rude.
They were not like that, but they made brands.
Royce Alger might have been a little rude.
So
There's a guy
Listen,
you need to watch.
Listen, I met a bunch of those wrestling aficionados at the golf course afterwards. They were all very nice.
Yes.
They're very nice people.
Yeah, they are. Okay, now what are we going to talk about? Where you got your hands there?
well,
Is that your phone?
so
Is that different?
John wants fun facts. So here's some fun facts. Here's some things you did not know that the things had names. These are for you, John.
I mean, I'm okay.
You know what the space between your eyebrows is called?
The Anthony Davis zone,
A glabella. The Anthony Davis zone.
the unibrow. The NBA players like famous for the unibrow. Okay, all right. Anyway,
The way it smells after the rain is called a petrichor.
What it smells like after rain?
The way it smells after the rain is called petrichor.
So that smell you get after rain.
it has a name.
Has a name.
It does.
Who? I wonder who came up with that.
I don't know.
Ray, can you help us there?
The plastic or metallic coating at the end of your shoelace is called an
Oh, yeah.
aglet. Exactly. The rumbling of your stomach is actually called a womble.
a womble.
Yes.
I'm doing the womble a lot this morning.
You get your coffee? You got your coffee?
I did get my coffee today.
The life is good?
Life is great.
You're not wombling?
Nope, no wombling.
The sheen or light that you see when you close your eyes and press your hands on them is called phosphenes.
I don't think you're supposed to do that, are you?
I don't know.
You can see phosphenes.
The tiny plastic table placed in the middle of a pizza box.
Tent.
Table tent or box tent.
Hey,
Sorry.
Speaking of random facts, isn't it interesting that you get a pizza in a square box
It's a round pizza.
and it's a round pizza
Yes.
and it's cut into triangles?
That is fascinating.
Geography. They said you'd never use it. You said you'd never
Geography.
use it. You told you
You said
geography.
geography.
They said you'd never geometry. I remember talking to my math.
I was
my
like,
math
yes.
teacher.
It said Tim opens a pizza box. Now here we have Australia, and here we have the United States, and here's Gilligan's Island. Like it just what?
God, I'm glad you went there. Nothing like the good Gilligan's Island.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's one of the questions I have on another thing. It's like the professor could make a radio out of a coconut, but he can't fix a hole in a boat.
Well, you were
not
just
have
on
the
this
technology.
You were just on this truth-seeking mission this morning. I tell you.
That one I stole from somewhere else, but yeah.
They didn't have any gum trees on the island. Couldn't do anything.
I'm thinking he made a radio out of a coconut. I mean, come on.
You think you fell out of a coconut tree?
That utterly sick feeling you get after eating or drinking too much is called crapulence. That's appropriate.
Crappy?
Crapulence. Sick feeling. I'm feeling crapulence. Well, go take care of that.
Boy, you look like crapulent.
You look like crapulence. I don't know. Illegible handwriting is called graphenage.
That's I
Graffiti?
could see that graphenage. My handwriting does look like graphenage.
It looks like griffinage.
otherwise known as a doctor's handwriting.
Yeah, exactly.
Does
Exactly.
Does anybody write anymore? Do you write stuff? Handwrite stuff?
I mean, very little, but yeah.
Yeah, not very much.
Speaking of random names, do you know what the the USB attachment that you stick into your computer for your mouse is called?
No.
It's called a dongle.
Oh, I did know that.
So a funny story for you on that. Years ago, I am in
How do you people know this?
well, here's how I know, Tim. I'm about to tell you. I'm fixing to tell you.
need to know.
So I'm sitting at my desk and my computer and everything is not working correctly, like with this mouse, whatever. So I call, and I've tried all these things because I'm not like technology literate. I'm pretty savvy with it, but I just couldn't get it to work. So I call into our IT department. I don't know this terminology. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm on the phone and I'm talking to this lady, key part of the story,
Right.
in the IT department. And I'm like, yes, this is what's going on. And she says to me, without even going into any other thing, she goes, have you tried jiggling your dongle? And I said,
It's a personal question.
what the hell did you just say to me?
Not certain we should be talking about my dongle right now.
What are we? I mean, I turned red. I turned red at my desk with my headset on. I'm like, what the? did you just say to me right now? She goes, and she was just like dry and deadpan as your typical, stereotypical IT person. That just means the USB attachment for you. And I'm like, okay, but that's not what it sounds like, ma'am. So watch your mouth when you're talking to me.
No. Do you got HR on the line here? I'm not admitting to that.
Yes, I was like, I haven't done, no, not at all.
No,
Certainly not at work, ma'am.
absolutely
Thank you.
not.
Like,
Is this a trap?
like, what are we doing here? So,
Mama told me not to play with my dongle out in public.
In public.
good Lord.
I'm not wiggling my dongle.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry for bringing this up. Okay, let's move on quickly.
No, I'm good. I'm done. I can't beat that.
Maybe we should go to break.
We've learned new things. Speaking of that, we'll come back and we'll get set for the day and learn what we learned. We'll be right back.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Ahoy, morning breathers. Welcome back to Tuesday's Lively Morning Breath.
You're welcome.
One should not play with, what do we call that thing?
Okay.
Dongle?
A dongle with a G.
Yes.
Don't jiggle your dongle at work.
No,
Unless you need to.
No, it was encouraged to do so because it was fixing the computer. So
I think we're learning that we shouldn't. We should do that more privately.
I think we should move on to the next topic before this thing goes off a train and we get canceled.
Okay, let's get set for the day.
I don't think you canceled for a dongle.
We can't
wiggle.
get canceled.
Oh my God.
It is Tuesday, January 28th. It is episode 239. The temperature right now in Fairfield is 27, in Mount Pleasant 28, and Washington 27.
Did you notice it's getting lighter in the morning?
A little bit, but I really noticed it last night, about 5:30 last night. There was still some sun in the sky.
It's breathing a little life back into my soul.
Yes.
Just bit by bit.
Wasn't that long
Yeah.
ago? It was dark at 4:30.
Yeah. Yep. A few clouds today, a little sun, and a lot of gusty winds, but we get high of 52.
All right. Again, we can't have nice things.
Can't have nice things. A lot of wind, gusts up to 40 again today. Low of 31, so we'll take that. Today's headlines from SoutheastIowaUnion.com. Judge hears arguments in Jefferson County Sheriff's Brady Gigolo case. Mount Pleasant man named as a suspect in West Liberty woman's homicide. And water sharks make a splash with the first meet at the new YMCA aquatic facility.
So cool. We had our first meet.
Yep, first meet there.
Official meet.
Look at these stories and any others at SoutheastIowaUnion.com or in today's Southeast Iowa Union newspaper. Sports tonight, Washington goes to Keokuk to do a little bowling, and Mount Pleasant boys basketball travels to Wilton.
Got to get it done today because there's no sports tomorrow.
No sports tomorrow. This day in history, on this day in 1986, the U.S. Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 73 seconds after liftoff from Florida, killing all 7 on board, including a school teacher who had been chosen as the first American civilian to travel in space. Do you know where you were when that happened?
That's one of those moments you don't forget.
You weren't born. I was going to say
I was
born.
I was.
Do you remember where you were?
I mean, no, I wasn't even 1 yet. So, yeah.
Well, I was in school, and they announced it over the school, and I remember being in the hallway, and that was shocking because they made such a huge deal, as they should have. They're sending this teacher into space, and as a first civilian, and it was
a big deal.
It was a huge deal. I remember exactly where I was.
I was working, but I was at somebody's house working, and it was on, and we just both sat down and watched.
Yeah, it was
and then I had to get back to work.
It was a big deal. Big deal.
I do like your list here as we get ready to leave today. This Top 10 Tuesday, the musical artists that we didn't get to. That's actually pretty sweet. That's really cool.
SZA stand out to you because they're going to do the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What stood out to me was Morgan Wallen was number 2.
Yep.
They're right as well. And I had a buddy of mine, his son, tried to tell me, and I've been petty as crap about this for about 6 months. He's like, yeah, Morgan Wallen just isn't that popular anymore. He's just kind of falling off. He said that to me one day, and I looked at him and I said, okay, that's very interesting. So was it Billboard? So they just came out and he had the album of the 21st century here. And I'm like, yeah. So I keep sending all these screenshots to his dad. I'm like, hey, please show this to your son. It's great. Like every time I see him, I'm like, did you see that picture? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Jesus, way to just bury the poor kid.
Oh, 100%. No, if you knew this kid, like he needs humbling at certain
Wallen
points.
not only has his own stuff, but he collaborates with about every other song on the radio.
He does. He's all him and Post Malone. Same thing. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's
All right. Random joke, random quote, or random fact. Peter.
We've had enough random facts today.
Let's do a random joke.
Random joke. Did you know that if you laid a blue whale lengthwise across a basketball court, they'd have to cancel the game?
It's true.
That's funny, man. Why aren't you laughing? It's hilarious.
I guess I didn't think it was that.
I think it was hilarious. I'm like, I was waiting for some kind of dimension spun, and I'm like, oh yeah, you couldn't actually have the game as it turns out.
It would occupy a lot of space on the basketball court.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Yeah. All right, takeaway. I'll go first.
I'm waiting for somebody.
I learned this about myself today. Actually, I learned it last night, but talked about it today. I get triggered by inaccurate wrestling movies.
I was just going to say, fact. My takeaway is that Matt has a passion for truth, for the wrestling truth.
It's the wrestling.
You're going to have a movie.
The movie's good.
Let's be accurate.
Just do it right.
Let's be accurate.
I was triggered by it.
I learned that what soothes John is Uncle Bob's nature stories.
Yes. Yes. It was good. It's very melodic to fall asleep. Right, it's very melodic to fall asleep too.
All I had to do is say Uncle Bob.
And here I am on the Facebook radio, whatever, for years later, reciting that information. Seemingly played out well for me. I don't know.
It's impactful.
Impactful.
Very good.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I was going to say. No, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, if you accidentally don't hit the mic button and accidentally leave John on mute for the first 3 minutes of the show, even my mother will text you. The
people get riled up, man.
Pick your game up, man.
There's a lot of pitchforks rattling and torches in the comment section when we.
Yeah. I got a text also.
My
daughter.
My takeaway is that I really miss being able to be here multiple days in a row.
There we go.
That's my takeaway. We miss it too.
I like it. That's all we have for today. Thank you all for commenting. I did not get to look at too much of what's going on today.
There are some things going on.
But thank you all for commenting. Thank you all.
Really, what we should take away is that a human leg weighs 20 to 30 pounds.
Yes. So next time you're carrying one, just keep that in mind.
Let's talk about a crossing. All right, people. We're out of here. Let's have a great Tuesday. The weather's warm. Get ready for golf. You could be golfing by the end of the week. So go out and have a great Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow.